We've got breaking news out of the NFL where Rams wide receiver Cooper Kupp has been capital P paid. Signing a monster extension with the Rams. It's a 3-year extension worth $80 million for the All-Pro wideout. This is confirmed by our lead NFL insider, Jonathan Jones. He'll now earn $110 million over the next 5 seasons. Remember, Kupp won NFL Offensive Player of the Year this past season, a Super Bowl ring, and was also the first player to capture a receiving triple crown since Steve Smith in 2005. Here's a look at some of the numbers, fantasy points, first and foremost. 439. You could thank him for your championship if you had him. Second in receiving yards, or receptions that is, and first in 90-plus yard games. He was good for about $1 each time out. Let's break it down with the host of All Things Covered, our guy B-Mac, the 2-time Super Bowl champ Bryant McFadden. B-Mac, big-time news here for L.A. continuing to roll in just 48 hours after Aaron Donald becomes the highest-paid player in league history not playing quarterback. Here's Cooper Kupp with 9 figures as well due over the next 5 years. Your reaction is what?
Well, clearly for the Los Angeles Rams, Joe, the salary cap is a myth. They don't have a salary cap. They're like a baseball organization. They just pay money to people deserving of getting contracts. And I have no issue with Cooper Kupp getting paid like he did today, similar to my sentiments with Aaron Donald. These guys earned it. And one thing about the Rams and Sean McVay, you look at their history, when you ball out, you will be rewarded. And I think that's a telling sign for the entire team. If you want to go out and get paid a certain way, be consistent and make the plays, and that organization out there in Los Angeles, they will reward you.
B-Mac, when you take a look at this, we tend to lean sometimes into a recency bias. Yes, he balled out last year to the tune of some numbers that we have not seen in a very, very long time, but sort of frame this within his entire story arc. One Division I offer. He's a guy who tore an ACL and came back from that, and now one of the highest paid players in the history of the position. I mean, this makes you think, what about the future of Cooper Kupp?
Man, he has a bright future. The thing that I love about Cooper Kupp, he's a football player that happens to play wide receiver. Think about this, Joe. Anytime Cooper Kupp lines up on the football field, he's never considered the fastest. He's never considered to be like the quickest or a guy that's just ultra athletic. But he plays the game the right way. And because of that and the way he studies and develops when it comes to the mental aspect, what he has developed as a professional, he's been so prolific. Look at these numbers. I mean, 2021 was a story year. But the thing about Cooper Kupp, he's not a one-trick pony when it comes to just balling out 1 year. Look at his resume. Outside of that ACL injury that, hampered his season that year, this is a guy that has been he's been competitive and he's been productive. So it's not just about what he did in 2021. It's about what he's done his entire time in the NFL playing for the Rams. And when you look at what he means to that organization in the locker room, he's a guy that leads by his action. He's not a vocal guy. He's a guy that leads by what he does on and off the football field. And those are the type of players you want to keep around for a very, very long time.
That ring, those numbers, let's not forget, all came in the first year with his new quarterback and pal, Matthew Stafford. We'll see what they have in the Encore Act, B-Mac. You alluded to some of the financials out there in L.A. and the salary cap literally being a myth, but as you take a look at this and some of these numbers, long gone are really the days of building a football team inside out, really fortifying the line and then adding the ancillary pieces beyond that. We saw the Patriots dynasty do it that way with multiple different wide receivers around Tom Brady. Now, nobody's calling Matthew Stafford Tom Brady quite yet, but when you look at the strategy of building this Rams team, do you see longevity there?
No question. No question. Think about this. I mean, they've made it to 2 Super Bowls in Sean McVay's era. They've won 1. They have the likelihood of them getting back to another championship while Sean McVay is coaching is clearly likely. And they found a plan that fits what they want to do. And they've stayed the course. Draft picks are not valued entities for that organization. So with that being said, Joe, no, we don't care anything about draft picks. And they don't do that every other year or here or there. That has been the mindset every year going into the draft. They value veteran, experienced players more so than first, second, or third rounders. And that has been the recipe for success for them. And I love that they stay the course. They're not going left or right. They stay the course, and because of that, they've been one of the more successful organizations over the last 3-4 plus years.
When a rock hits water, there are ripples, and this is a big rock hitting the wide receiver market, B-Mac. There are some other names that are at the table negotiating right now. Who's affected most outside of L.A. by this deal?
I mean, he was already set to play for the Rams for this year, next year, if not mistaken. So I just think when you look at the longevity, right, in the NFC West, I think the next closest team to the Rams would be the 49ers. But we got to wait and see exactly how Trey Lance will handle being the number one guy for that organization. We're starting to see a little bit of turnover with the Cardinals, but I don't think they're as close as I thought they would be if you were to ask me this question a year ago. So now when you look at the longevity with these superstars the Rams have been able to retain, especially, didn't they just sign Matthew Stafford to an extension a few months ago as well? Right? So the quarterback is set. Your wide receiver is set. You just brought in Allen Robinson, who you gave a nice bag to as well. Aaron Donald is set. When you have those type of pieces in place, Joe, that's the best recruiting pitch for other experienced players that want to play for a friendly organization that has their eyes set on the prize. So me personally, what does this mean going long term? It's their division to lose. The NFC West was already their division, I felt like, going into this year, but seeing some of their most skillful players being locked up, contract-wise for quite some time, it's their division. It's going to be their division for quite some time until we see otherwise.
I know you're not going to want to hear it, but it goes like this. DBs beware in that division and elsewhere in the NFC. B-Mac, we appreciate you as always.
Thank you.
And for more B-Mac, be sure to tune into All Things Covered. P2 and B-Mac sitting down with some of the biggest names in sports and entertainment for can't-miss conversations week in and week out. They'll be sure to react to the latest big-time deals going down in L.A. as well. Download, subscribe, and enjoy All Things Covered.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.